And welcome back to Hindustan Astrology. I'm Katya, and in today's video we're going to talk about Pluto retrograde through the 12 signs. Now the reason why I'm doing this is because I had a request for it, and also because in Vedic astrology not everyone uses the outer planets. I actually started with Western astrology and then switched to Vedic, so I understand how the outer planets function, and I think it really adds another layer of meaning to this year's Saturn-Jupiter conjunction. Now, currently Pluto is in Capricorn, going retrograde. He will go back into Sagittarius, but he'll be back in Capricorn by December, and so this will be the last time he's in Sagittarius. Now he's going to be in Capricorn for 20 years, so I'm focusing on Saturn and the Saturn houses in the chart, and also where Capricorn is in your chart. So I did a little bit of homework, and I wanted to go over this with you guys, because I think this will really help people as we approach the summer, especially with all of these 4 planets in retrograde. Now the dates are February 25th for Pluto going retrograde. June 29th he goes back into Sagittarius. October 24th he goes direct. November 8th we have an exact Pluto-Jupiter conjunction. Now this happened back on April 4th, and this is when we really started to see some dark secrets being revealed about the hidden agendas of some of the governments around the world concerning the COVID-19 pandemic. So when Pluto's retrograde, our fears will be amplified, but also the dark secrets of world leaders will be revealed. And so even though we might be scared, it's better to face the fear, is the way I see it. December 30th, Pluto goes back into Capricorn finally. Now on the 22nd, we have the massive Saturn-Jupiter conjunction at 6 degrees of Capricorn. And so by the 30th, Pluto will join them again. Last time these planets were together was the solar eclipse of December 26th, which was almost exactly a year prior to this. At that time we had 7 planets in Sagittarius, and it was happening in the U.S. chart's first house. And then we had Mars in Scorpio 12 places behind, representing the enemy from behind and that we can't see. And that was when the virus was getting bad in Asia, but we didn't know about it yet. We also had the U.S. Embassy attack in Iraq. So I think those issues are going to come back around December 20th and December 30th, actually, for the conjunction. So yeah, this is how Pluto is going to affect everybody through the 12 signs. So you're going to read this from your ascendant or lagna or your moon sign. And while Pluto is in Capricorn, it will affect the Saturn houses, and while he's in Sagittarius, it'll affect the Jupiter houses. I've only highlighted the Saturn houses though. So, okay, here we go. If you're in Aries, this Pluto in Capricorn is taking place in your 10th house and will go back to your 9th house. Saturn rules the 10th and 11th houses. This is a need for constructive action when Pluto is in the 10th house, particularly in regards to your career and your reputation in your career. There's a deep emotional drive to succeed, but you've got to be careful of a power complex. Your career will have a point of manifestation and growth, and you've got to learn to channel the fear about your career into action, Aries. So for Taurus, This Pluto in Capricorn is taking place in your 9th house and going back to your 8th house. Saturn rules the 9th and 10th houses in your chart. This boils down to obsessive ideologies. You could have a change in beliefs, going back to school, or a new religion or belief system. Long distance travel is seen here, and also the death of a father or a father figure can happen at this time. Gemini. This is taking place in your 8th house, going back to your 7th house. Saturn rules the 8th and 9th houses. Still waters run deep. Deep and psychic feelings are seen when Pluto is in the 8th house, and also a very deep sexuality. You also could have, you know, the death of a father figure, or the death of a kind of institution pattern. Also, inheritance or other people's money comes to you now. And your research skills are excelled at this time while Pluto is in your 8th house. Cancer. This is taking place in your 7th house, going back to your 6th house. Saturn rules the 7th and 8th houses. Emotional extremes. There's a need to be the dominant partner when Pluto is in the 7th house. Great for meeting new romantic or business partners with deep connections. And also emotional extremes in relationships or upheavals. Possible breakups or new beginnings are seen when Pluto is in your 7th house. Leo. Pluto will be in your 6th house, going back to your 5th house. Saturn rules your 6th and 7th houses. Health problems. Here it's good for mental concentration, and projects finally are evolving. The colon and weight are weak. Weight gain is possible. Service to others in control or authority positions is seen at this time, but you've got to be careful of hidden enemies. Virgo. Pluto in Capricorn will be in your 5th house, going back to your 4th house. Saturn rules the 5th and 6th houses. Creative catharsis. Artistic projects bring deep satisfaction. Hidden short-term love affairs. Financial speculations are good. Children's talents may require risk-taking and frustrations with children's education. Libra. Pluto is in your 4th house, going back to your 3rd house. Saturn rules the 4th and 5th houses. Long-term problems, difficulties with the mother, or problems with the mother's real estate or real estate in general. Frustrations with home life that go back to childhood patterns that need to be broken. And moving homes is indicated here, particularly because Saturn is here too. We have to remember that Jupiter and Saturn are riding along with Pluto. So when Saturn's in the 4th house, oftentimes it indicates a move. But when Pluto is there, it's trouble and secrets in the home or the homeland. Scorpio. Pluto is in your 3rd house, going back to your 2nd. Saturn rules your 3rd and 4th houses. There's a need for information at this time. Books or music can be released now, or written and worked upon. This is excellent for research and also deep communications. Deep emotional connection with siblings can be seen now, but also perhaps the death of a sibling. Sagittarius. Pluto's in your 2nd, going back to your 1st. Saturn rules your 2nd and 3rd houses. An inquisitive attitude. Excellent for business and money making. Be wary of materialism. Great for lovemaking, and sensuality is heightened. Be careful of using negative words or eating too much, especially because Jupiter's there. Capricorn. Pluto's in your 1st, going back to your 12th. Saturn rules your 1st and 2nd houses. channeling the energy. Emotional energy is increased now. It's very intense. Headaches or powerful dreams can happen at this time, or you could have issues with your sleep and your sleep patterns. Others' dark agendas concerning your money will be exposed. Because Saturn rules your second house of money, you could have had some issues with someone trying to steal your inheritance, but this time, when Pluto's retrograde, you're going to figure out their dark agendas. Aquarius, 12th and 11th houses. So Aquarius, having Pluto in the 12th house going back to the 11th is all about harnessing your fears. Spiritual revelations and new communities can be found at this time. And psychic premonitions through dreams are possible. Tackling the demons of your subconscious is an excellent way to use this expression of Pluto in the 12th. Pisces. Pluto is in your 11th house, going back to your 10th house. Saturn rules the 11th and the 12th houses. Outside influences. Align with communities of light, not darkness. Great gains in the form of large sums of money can be had at this time. And you must learn to put up boundaries and don't let others take advantage of you in your communities. So there you have it, Pluto through the 12 signs. And so this just gives a whole other, take on the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction that's going on this summer. So, if you have any other questions, just let me know. I'm available for appointments right now. I am working with a sliding scale because I realize so many people are out of work, and I really want to reach as many people as possible. So if you want a reading and you cannot afford the full price, contact me and we'll work out something together, okay? All right, you guys, stay safe. Namaste.